Hello, this is Spellsquire's MTG, and today I have a video test I'm going to upload in the middle of a week and at the weekend to see how two videos goes. This episode is completely edited by my friend Alec. He's doing a deck tech on his Chulane Tales deck. This is only a one-off thing unless it works well and he wants to continue editing. I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get on with it.
First off, we have Chulane, our lead singer of the deck. Chulane is notorious for gaining incremental value over our opponents and is a massive value engine in the deck. Our second category is cheap creatures. Now we've got three of these, the first of which is Omen Speaker, which when it enters the battlefield scries 2, but it has 2 CMC, so is often very effective with Chulane. Then we have Frilled Mystic, and this is just great protection. As a creature's counterspell, will also draw cards and ramp us when we have Chulane on the battlefield. Next we have a 1 mana creature, which when it enters the battlefield scry 1, and this is often just free, because you draw a card and then put a land back into play, so it does not cost you any mana. Next we have the one piece of stacks in the deck, which is Rest in Peace. Now I find this is particularly effective, because there are so many graveyard decks in our meta. Next, we have a lot of ramp, but this is because Chulane provides so much card draw. I often cut out lots of card draw from the deck, so we can ramp into our game-ending spells much faster. Start off, we have Ulvenwald Hydra, which is very effective and late game can be very massive. It also finds us some of our utility lands in the deck. Next off, we have standard ramp spells, such as Rampant Growth, Cultivate, and Search for Tomorrow. Search for Tomorrow is very good because you can suspend it on turn 1. Then we also have Evolution Charm, which is very flexible, and Kadama's Reach, which is just another Cultivate. We also then have the standard commander staple, Soul Ring, and we have Colney Heart Expedition, which is very effective as this is a landfall deck. Simic Signet also provides a lot of value, and we also have Crop Rotation to once again find our very synergistic lands we have. We have Harrow, which ramps us and also puts the lands in untapped, very useful. And then we have some creature-based ramp, which is very good in this deck as it works very well with the commander, Chulane. First off, we have Risen Reef, which says when it enters the battlefield, but it looks at the top card of your library and it can put it onto the battlefield if it's a land, but if not, it goes into your hand. So worst comes to the worst, it's just good card draw. We also have Lanorels, which is both ramping you and drawing you a card when you have your commander out. Sakura-Tribe Elder, which ensures you hit your land drops and also can help make extra land drops late in the game when you've got land drop payoffs on the battlefield. We have Leafkin Druid, which often taps for 2 mana because this is a creature deck and it has lots of creatures on the battlefield. Solemn Simulacrum is just a good value card. Naga Vitalist is often very good because this is a 3-colour deck. It is also fixing as well as ramp, as it can tap for any of the 3 colours. We then have a Coiling Oracle, which provides card advantage on its own, which is very useful. Then we have Incubation Druid, which is just a slightly better version of Ritualist. We then have a Lanoir Scout, ensures we hit our land drops, and a Karametra, which works especially well as it ramps you whenever you play a creature, and most of this deck is creatures. We then have additional value cards and card draw. For example, we have your traditional landfall cards, such as Rampaging Baloths for 6 mana, Evolution Sage, which is a great politicking card, Undergrowth Champion, and Path of Discovery, which is really good as there are quite a lot of utility lands. It can help you search for those through your deck. We also have Primeval Bounty, which is really an all-star in this deck, as it makes creatures and gains life when a land enters the battlefield, which is just very useful. We also have Fathom Mage, just good card draw. Garruk, also very good card draw as we have quite a lot of big creatures with a negative. And AC, Tyrant of Gaia Strait, which helps us draw cards when we get our lands. Next we have the Game Enders in the deck. So this is another stacks piece, but it's not as bad. It's Angelic Arbiter, and this is generally used to slow down on opponents so we gain much more advantage over them. We then have Strength of the Tajaru, which is very good, as we often have lots and lots of mana, so X spells are very good in this deck. This is carried on with the Finale of Devastation, which early game, very good. It can help you tutor and cheat into play very efficient creatures, and it also serves as a game ender late game. This is also true for Overwhelming Stampede, which also a very efficient game ender. And then we have Emery's Forerunners, which is traditional in our commander group. Then we also have Avengers Zendikar, which is a very, very good target to search out with Finale of Devastation. It's just alone, those two will probably win you the game. We then have Protection and Tutors. So the only tutor in this deck is Neoform, which is very useful as it provides lots of variation in what you can search for depending on what you need it. Then we have onboard protection, for example, Lightning Greaves and Simic Charm. And we also have Seedball Muse, which allows you to respond to spells very efficiently. Then we also have 2 spells which stop your spells from being countered. So we have Teferi Time Raveler, the standard all-star, and Allosaurus Shepherd, which is a very, very efficient card. We then have Wraths and spot removal. So we have Incubation, Incognito, provides a lot of variation in what you can pick. Then Crush Contraband, just very efficient card. Rubinia Soulsinger, gain control opponent's combo pieces, can be a very disruptive card. Then we have Thrashing Brontodon, which is artifact enchantment removal tied to a creature, so it does trigger our commander. This also goes for Acidic Slime and Reclamation Sage, which are both very efficient cards. We next have our board wipes. So we have Terminus, which is very good because we have a lot of graveyard decks in our meta, and that puts all those cards they've been working to get back on the bottom of their libraries, which is much harder for them to get again then. We then have Time Wipe, which is very good because it saves our own creature, and Martial Coup because it gives us a board state after we have board wiped. We then have a combo selection of cards, which are Mana Breach, Jace Wielder of Mysteries, and Shrieking Drake. These 3 cards together go infinite with Chulane and draw your whole deck. And this is a very efficient, very cheap combo, which I invested in. And then partnered with Shrieking Drake, we have 2 cards that work the same, but are not combo pieces, with Core Skyfisher and White Mane Lion, which both accrue incremental value off of Chulane and are very, very efficient cards. We then have lots of removal, just in case our combo pieces are disrupted, countered, or we seek to gain more value. So we have Road of Return, which is also very useful because it allows us to put Chulane, who is often a target for removal, back into our hand so we cost cheaper. We also have Nature's Spiral, which is just quite an efficient card, and Eternal Witness, which is gains us back cards and is also tied to a creature for Chulane. Next we have our utility lands, and in this section we have Yavimaya Coast, Temple of the False God, often very efficient, Simic Growth Chamber, very good early game, same with Mosswalk Bridge. Then we have Scavenger Grounds, because once again we have lots of graveyard decks. Azorius Chancery, 2 bounce lands works really well with Chulane, as you'll always have a land to put back into play. New Benelia, scry 1 when it enters the battlefield, very efficient. Command Tower, Temple of Mystery, same. Hallowed Fountain, it is a shock land, which often, as experienced commander players will know, very, very useful. Ash Barrens to help fix our mana, and then 3 Gain a Life lands, which are very useful in both the early and late game. And then from there we just have a selection of basic lands to fill in the remainder of the 100 cards.